So now on our Christmas show, it's a bit like Pick of the Pops. We're going to go through the chart.
Pop pickers.
That was a good Alan Freeman. That this is the Christmas chart from 1983. 1983 is a great year for music. But tell us a little bit about it, Paul.
Yeah, 40 years ago. Let's have a quick look at some of the artists that featured between 40 and 10. So Christmas records has traditionally been a time where you would get novelty records. This year was no exception. So we had singles from Santa Claus and the Christmas Tree. Don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
Jingle Bells. Don't remember that one. Frank Kelly. You remember that one?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, a.k.a. Father Jack from Father Ted. Roland Rats, he would do one, as would the boys from Minder.
Was Roland Rat rapping? Because if it was, I bought that.
I think it was Christmas rapping or something.
Oh, maybe a different one.
Hang on a minute. What do you mean you bought it? You're only about one.
Well, Mum and Dad must have bought it. I definitely had a Roland Rat vinyl. Dennis Waterman, George Cole, though, great song.
Yeah, they did one. Also some Christmas classics in the chart that year, including The Pretenders' 2,000 Miles. Slade, obviously, they were back in the chart with their traditional song. And there's also classics from other artists, including Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace, Simple Minds' Waterfront, Culture Club's Karma Chameleon, Genesis's That's All, Billy Joel's Uptown Girl, and Thriller from Michael Jackson. However, from 10 to 3, it looked a bit like this. So number 10 was Cliff Richard, and Please Don't Fall in Love.
Number 9 was Tina Turner, Let's Stay Together.
Classic from Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, number 8, was Islands in the Stream.
Number 7, Billy Joel, Tell Her About It.
Number 6, the Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now.
Number 5, Status Quo, Margarita Time.
Number 4 was Paul Young and Love of the Common People. So what was at number 3?
Number 3 was Culture Club and Victims. And this would be the highest place in the chart that this song would reach. It was also on Now 1 as well, if you're interested. This being its second week at number 3. It would spend 2 further weeks in the top 10 and a further 2 in the top 40 before that ended its 8-week chart run. This was the third of the band's top 40 hits of the year and the lowest place following Church of the Poisoned Mind. I like that song. Reaching number 2 in April this year, but kept from number 1 by Let's Dance by David Bowie. And Karma Chameleon, which not only reached number 1, but was the best-selling song of 1983. At the time of its release, lead singer Boy George stated that the song was written about his life experiences, particularly his relationship with the band's drummer, John Moss, and being brave and having strength in the darkest of nights. Anyway, do you know this one much?
I'll be honest, it wasn't a song of theirs that I know well. And on listening recently, sort of one of my thoughts was, you've released Karma Chameleon, which obviously was massive. It's very, very different.
Very different. Yeah.
However, I loved it. I thought the style of it being so different was fabulous. It really showcases Boy George's voice. He's accompanied on piano for most of the track by fellow band member Roy Hay, before about 3/4 of the way through an orchestra joins in along with the other two band members. And I thought it was a great record. The style was so different looking at other material the group had either recorded or would ever record. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's also worth noting that this, in the book 1001 Songs You Must Hear Before You Die, whilst it doesn't make the initial list, it does feature in the 9,000 songs not discussed at the back of the book. So you just listen to. Neither of the records at number 2 or number 1 would make that list. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's just very different, like you say, from Karma Chameleon and anything they've done. So it's not my favourite Culture Club track, and it's right at the end of Now 1 as well. So after a lot of upbeat tracks, Now 1 finishes with Victims. Yeah. So, which is perhaps a bit of a strange choice, but yeah, here it is. So, what was number 2 in our charts, 1983?
So number 2 was one of the Christmas classic bands, but not the Christmas classic song. Slade were at number 2 with My Oh My. So this was week 6 of the song's top 40 run, and it was in the middle of 3 weeks at number 2, which were all held off the top spot by the song that we're going to listen to in a minute. As the Christmas number 1 in 1983. So in the early 70s, Slade had 6 UK number 1s, including the Christmas classic. However, the popularity had waned since then, and this was their highest chart appearance since 1975. Indeed, a large number of singles had either failed to chart or just stalled outside the top 20. Lead singer Noddy Holder would leave the band in 1992, by which time they only had a further 3 UK top 40 singles. This song is about love and support from others, especially in time of need. What were your thoughts on this one?
I do like this one. I mean, Slade had tried to come back a few times. I remember in 1977 they did a song that I like called Gypsy Roadhog, which has got references to drugs, shall we say. And they performed it on Blue Peter. And I think before anyone realised, thinking, okay, we best not. So we didn't get much airtime and airplay when they finally realised what the content was about. But this come back in 1983, and then Runaway followed in 1984. I like that one. So it was a good little period, which I liked from Slade.
Yeah.
And later on, I think it was early 90s, they had Radio Wall of Sound, which is a great
I think
comeback
that was
song
on
as
Now
well.
20 or Now 20.
Was it really? Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it was one of the early Now.
But no, I like it.
I enjoyed it. I couldn't recall it before I sort of listened to it and started to watch the video again. However, as soon as the first few lines from Noddy were sung, it came back to me very quickly. I thought it was a fabulous video. It showcases their glorious homecoming because the band get picked up by a lorry driver, and at the back of the lorry is just a wagon, and there's the instruments, and they're gradually getting picked up. Noddy being last, of course, and I mean, they've not changed in the previous decade at all. They still had the same haircuts and pretty much the same sort of fashion sense as they had back in the early 70s. And then there's just a lot of arm waving. It's very Americanized, I felt.
I've probably done for the MTV audience, the video, perhaps.
I thought they spent a lot of the late 70s in the US. So I wondered if part of that was due to the fact that they'd sort of got that soft rock approach from having spent time in the US so much in the later 70s. Yeah, fabulous song. I think it should be played more. Great vocals. Starts slowly, builds till halfway through when you've got drum solos, guitar solos aplenty. Loved it.
I mean, tell you what will be interesting. There's been a couple of pictures on social media recently where Noddy Holder's been pictured with Dave Hill. He's not in Slade now, Noddy, but there's been kind of a couple of suggestions that kind of friendships and things are being patched up. Wouldn't it be amazing to see him back with Slade? I mean, hey, never say never. Anyway, here is My Oh My. So, Paul, what was at number one Christmas 1983?
Number one Christmas 1983 was the Flying Pickets with Only You. I felt it was a song unlike any other at this time. New romantic music was aplenty.
Absolutely, yeah.
Providing all the big hits. Of course, this is a cover of a song that was originally written by Vince Clarke, formerly of Depeche Mode. Apparently he wrote it for the band initially and offered it them as he was leaving the band, though they rejected it. Subsequently, he would record it with Alison Moyet and Yazoo. The song's reported to be about the end of a relationship. As I mentioned a minute ago, Depeche Mode, things weren't great.
Yeah,
was he writing about sort of
maybe,
situations there?
Yeah.
And the conflict that forms as it's not something that was wanted. The Flying Pickets version came just 19 months after the Yazoo version. So all the group were ex-miners turned actors who had been striking during the early 70s, hence the group's name. Prior to the release of the song, there was two members that left the group. One was called Ron Donacci, a Scottish supporting actor who played D.I. Rebus in the Radio 4 plays of the early noughties. The other being Christopher Ryan, who just a few months later would become Mike the Cool One in BBC One's The Young Ones. This was their debut single. It was a number one in Germany, Ireland, also going top 10 across Europe and a top 20 hit in Canada. Sadly, something not to be repeated with a follow-up single, When You're Young and in Love. It went top 10 in the UK and Ireland. After that, no further success. It's not stopped them, however. Since that day, they've released 12 studio albums, 3 live albums up until 2015. By 1990, all of the original band members had left. However, as of now, they've had 27 members who are still going strong.
Like Trigger's broom.
Yeah. The song entered the UK chart at number 9 at the start of December, climbing to number 1 the following week, where it made for 5 weeks before spending a further 2 weeks in the top 40. It left the chart at the end of '84. It was reported to be a favourite of British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, which, considering the fact that the group were all ex-miners and in full support of the miners' strikes that occurred under her government, was slightly ironic. What's your thoughts on the song?
I like it. I mean, you only tend to hear it at Christmas as well, don't you? It's got a very basic video shot in a pub, an empty pub.
Yep.
I don't get why it's only played at Christmas, because it's not really a Christmas song, is it? I mean, it's as much of a Christmas song as Stay Another Day. I don't know, but I don't know. You just don't hear it from January to November, do you?
I mean, that was one of the reasons I thought it probably was so successful, because it was more balladesque and mellow. I wondered if, because the musical chart at Christmas is so different, is that why it became a success?
Quite possibly. Yeah,
and that's why we do only hear it at Christmas, sadly, now.
Yeah, possibly. So that was the 1983 chart. Great little chart, that one, wasn't it? So thanks to Paul for joining us for that. I really enjoyed that chart. That was a great
40
chart.
years ago, some classics there, some great, great songs, and yeah, ones that stand up to the test of time so well still today.
Absolutely.